else I was surprised about, right, was this thing over here. Napoleon, right? Napoleon. So it's coming on Apple TV Plus soon, and there's a new Scorsese movie I got to see as well. That's also coming on Apple TV Plus. That's also where they got the new Capaldi crime drama thing, which he's kind of the villain in. I wouldn't rush to subscribe to Apple TV for that, right? They do have a few good things on, but this was freaking excellent. Napoleon, right? It was. I was amazed how good it was. I wasn't expecting it at all. So this is an old school historical epic, right? Now, I understand it's historically inaccurate, and I don't really give a shit, right? I really don't. It's everything is really inaccurate. If you ever saw Howard Stern's Private Parts movie, he amalgamated different bits of his life for dramatic reason. Same sort of thing here. Look, here's what I think, anyway. We went away with an impression of, and I don't know if it's an honest impression, but an impression of who Napoleon was, which was very interesting, as it turned out. I didn't really know. And his life and, the world he inhabited. A lot which I didn't know much about. How the realities of warfare was very, very, very well portrayed. This is a great companion piece to Gladiator, I think. Directed by Ridley Scott. So again, there's lots of politics in this, right? There's lots of politics about France in the post-revolutionary France, or revolutionary and post-revolutionary France. So the biggest takeaway in terms of story is when government fools expect death and chaos, right? Expect death and lots of death and complete chaos as a new government tries to assert itself, which is basically the backdrop for this entire movie, right? And I think we'll probably see something similar in America if the government collapses, which it could well do, right? I mean, it's facing revolution, right? I mean, it really is, especially with the plans that they have now. Be careful what you wish for, because this always happens when a political system falls. No matter how corrupt it is, you get death and chaos, right? Same thing with the Russian Revolution. But for me, look, the story of his life, I'm not that interested in Napoleon. I'm kind of interested. He's an interesting guy. I'm interested to know more. And this movie scratched that itch. But really, this is more a cinematic epic more than anything else. And it really is. Joaquin Phoenix is fantastic in this role. He exudes power. Like he's like just like he's like a radioactive generator of power, and he's absolutely met toe to toe by Vanessa Kirby. Is it Vanessa Kirby? Is that? I think it is. Let's have a look up 1 second. I'm in Wikipedia. Let me go to. I'll look up Napoleon movie. 2023 by Ridley Scott. There you go. Doink. Who's it starring? Vanessa Kirby as Josephine. Now, Vanessa Kirby is fantastic, right? She just like wandered in out of nowhere, right? And is everywhere. And she's just absolutely fantastic. The first thing I saw her in was The Crown, where she played, was it Princess Margaret? Is that right? Yeah. And she's very good. So here's the thing about Vanessa Kirby. I think she's a very, very good actor. I really do. I think she's an incredibly good actor because she's always very good at playing very sexy, slinky roles, which is what Josephine is in this, and what her role in Mission Impossible, her role in The Crown. They're always very sexy, slinky roles, right? And I think she's probably a very normal person in real life. That's kind of the vibe I get. But she's very good at doing the sexy, slinky roles. So A huge part of this movie, right? A huge part of this movie is Napoleon's relationship with Josephine, how he meets her, how they marry, and their weird, tortured relationship. So, okay. Their take on Napoleon, which again, I think is probably true, I have no idea, is he's your average loser. Like, you know, if it was around today, he would have a YouTube channel. I don't mean to disparage myself, but yeah, he's that kind of guy, right? He's this guy who, like, is a bit with the Jewish word of nebuch, right? A little bit not really with it altogether, but also an incredible military genius, right? And an incredible military tactician, happening to be in the right place at the right time, in reality. But like, so gawkingly socially awkward, and without without self-awareness of his own bizarre physical social awkwardness, right? Which is just bizarre to watch, right? It's kind of hypnotic to watch, right? And I think Joaquin Phoenix really does a great job, like bringing it through. Who's a chick with a dick? Wait. Josephine isn't black. Oh, fine. We'll talk about it. No, Josephine's played by Vanessa Kirby, who's very, very, very white. So yeah, look, there is colorblind casting in this. I don't know if it's historically accurate or not, right? I don't know if you had like black people in aristocracy from Algiers or somewhere. I really don't know, right? I really don't know. So you say Napoleon's just this guy, you know? Yes, I am. That's Colin Archer. You're absolutely right. So yeah, there's colorblind casting in this. For me, it doesn't really bother me that much, because it didn't feel like it was. I don't know. It's weird. You can kind of feel like it when it's done to smack you in the face, right? It's he was a very successful socialite, very popular, especially with the ladies. Well, they kind of, it says problem being, well, they kind of show him like he's kind of like a Forrest Gump's his way into these sort of situations, right? Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. So I don't feel like it was smacking me in the face with it to like batter me into submission, which I felt like the Indian what's it called again? Isaac Newton. I thought that was in Doctor Who. This didn't feel like it. It felt like character actors kind of fitting the character, right? To be honest with you, I think it's the motivation behind it, and the motivation behind it is like you do very much. I feel it, right? I feel it. So yeah, no. Is Napoleon a chick with the dick? No, he is not. So yeah, Vanessa Kirby, she is freaking awesome in this, right? She is a equally twisted, very, very, very clever woman who understands the realities of society and uses it for her self protection and self promotion, right? But there's the sexual frisson between Napoleon and Josephine is just like vibrates through, I would say, the second third of this movie, right? Where they really finally get to meet, get to grips with each other. A lot of this movie is also showing you what war was like in war and combat was like, right? How wars were won. And it's essentially like a giant chess match, right? And that's why he was so successful, because he was able to come up with new, simpler ideas that were successful, like making lots of smaller cannons and carrying them around with them. Come up with like new off-the-wall battle tactics that were often very, very successful. But again, you get to see like the reality of combat. There's a bit at the beginning where he's like charging, into taking some fort or something at the beginning. There's so much politics about what's going on. I didn't follow any of it. Weirdly enough, though, there's a guy in it who's in it a lot. He plays Napoleon's friend somewhat, and who looks exactly like Tarrant from Blake Seven, and sounds like him too. So like I thought it was him. I was like, but he looks really young. Could that be the same guy? He's wearing a wig. I don't know. I looked it up. Wasn't him. Different guy completely, right? Totally different guy. Anyway, so like the first third of this movie is setting up the world, setting up Napoleon, seeing who he is. And again, the combat scenes are just breathtaking. You get a number of really, really good ones in this. So so he's charging into battle after his troops, and a cannon fires it and hits his horse and like blows up a leg off of the intestines of his horse. All right, and he's like, "Oh, I'm still okay," and he goes charging in to take this fort. It's look, it's a real pro like Ridley Scott knows how to handle that stuff. But again, his gawky awkwardness goes through the entirety of this movie. So he falls head over heels in love for Josephine, who is clearly the more powerful and more controlling of the two of them. And you hear all this weird stuff where she like diagnoses him, right? Like works out his mummy issues essentially, and he's besotted by her, and she really can't stand him for a lot of the movie. And like, he's all over like licking her, and she's like, "Oh God, this is disgusting." But equally, he's incredibly powerful, right? So at the same time as all this going on, he kind of Forrest Gumps his way into this supreme power of eventually becoming king. And then, he believes his own press too much and the wheels come off the wagon. But like, it's all the way through, even through his like genuine gawkiness, he has so much charisma. People just can't help being flocking around him. That's why he has such a strong political career until he had like a number of... Everything was based on his military career. So and that fell apart. Support for him fell apart. But look, this is what, a 3-hour long movie. How long is this movie? Let me see if I can see. It is 157 minutes long. Directed by was it Ridley Scott? Let's see the cast. We'll go through them. It's Joaquin Phoenix, Bonaparte, fantastic. Vanessa Kirby. Again, I was saying the problem with the new Capaldi TV show on Apple Plus is that you have Peter Capaldi, who just like emanates power, right? He's just like one of the powerful actors on screen, and whoever is playing off as a Kush, whatever her name is, it's like blown off the screen by him whenever he's on. And it's not her fault. She's a fine actress. Don't worry. Whatever it's on. So Tahar Rahim looks exactly like Tarrant. Do you have a picture of him? Let's see if I can find a picture of him. Yeah. He looks and sounds exactly like Tarrant. It is beyond me. Yeah, 1 second. So if you ever do a Blake Seven movie, please, this guy has to play Tarrant. Okay, I did. That's how white men do it. Yeah, but again, and you see like how Napoleon may well have been completely bonkers. Oh, he was hated by the elites of the time, right? They couldn't stand him for his commonness. Rupert Everett plays Duke of Wellington, and those scenes between. Those combat scenes between the two of them are great because you see them like ordering their troops into place in the same way people play chess, right? And that really worked. Ben Miles, who's been in a bunch of stuff, he's very good in this as well. Basically everybody is just knocking out the park. Mark Bonar's in it, Commander Koenig in Space 1999 on Big Finish. He's also in it. There's a lot of faces you recognize. Definitely a recommend. It's look, if you've never had a subscription to Apple Plus, you have this. You have the new Scorsese thing, which I haven't seen yet, with Leonardo DiCaprio. You have Silo season 1, freaking awesome. You have Ted Lasso. You have what else? That Godzilla show was crap. I got halfway through. I'm like, I stopped watching it. But yeah, if you've never had a subscription to Apple Plus, it's worth it for this as well. So yeah, that's a definite recommend, right? Problem being doesn't say it. You have to see the movie, right? When you see him in the movie, you go, fuck me, that's Taron. It's the weirdest thing. I'm not joking. When you see in the movie, you go, what the hell? I really thought Stephen Pacey. I'm not even joking. I really did. I'm like, but it's too young. How? I didn't understand how on earth it could be possible. But yeah, no, it really was, right? It really was. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.